Welcome to This Explainer. Let's jump right in and explore something absolutely fundamental in youth work, the idea that physical and emotional safety are equally important. Think about it. Research actually tells us it takes just milliseconds for the human brain to decide if a new environment is a threat. So, when a young person walks into a youth center, what exactly makes them feel like they truly belong?
Well, a young person might be physically able to walk into a room, sure, but that doesn't mean they feel safe enough to actually participate. If the space is confusing or noisy, unpredictable, or maybe feels judgmental, participation becomes a massive hurdle. And this is especially true for young people with additional support needs, neurodivergence, or trauma histories. A barrier to entry isn't always a physical step at the door, you know? Sometimes it's an invisible wall of anxiety. So, access actually relies on two deeply connected pillars. On one hand, we've got physical safety. That means the space is accessible, it's comfortable, and it's free from unnecessary risks. But on the other hand, we have emotional safety, meaning young people feel respected, accepted, informed, and completely free from judgment. You see, these two forms of safety are totally intertwined. For instance, loud background noise? That can create massive sensory overwhelm. Unclear information can instantly spike anxiety. Even just a rushed or unfriendly welcome can make someone feel like they just don't belong there.
Which brings us to a really crucial point. We should be aiming for safer spaces, not perfect spaces. As youth workers, we kind of have to accept that absolute 100% safety, it can never be guaranteed. You literally cannot eliminate every possible risk or trigger out there. But, and this is the exciting part, safer conditions can be intentionally built. We build them step by step through dignity, respect, predictability, clear communication, and proactive harm prevention.
And the best part is, creating these conditions doesn't require some massive budget overhaul. It often starts with the absolute smallest details. We can spot these details just by conducting a quick safety scan of the room. Imagine you're walking into your youth center for the very first time. Let's do a quick visual scan together right now and see how a space can improve step by step.
Let's start right at the entrance. Ask yourself, is the signage actually clear? Is there a visible, warm welcome message? Is the route genuinely step-free and accessible for absolutely everyone, including those using mobility aids? Because if a young person has to struggle just to find the front door, well, their anxiety is already heightened before they even meet you.
Okay, let's move inside and see how this builds. We need to check the welcome routine. That very first interaction should be a calm staff tone, completely free of pressure, delivering a simple first message. You aren't demanding immediate, high-energy participation from them. You're really just acknowledging them and offering a safe harbor.
Next up in our scan, let's look at the seating. We want to verify that young people have clear movement paths and flexible options. Giving them the choice of where to sit, whether that's a sturdy chair, a squishy beanbag in the back corner, or maybe sitting right near an exit, is actually a really powerful way to hand them back a sense of control and empowerment. Then we have to assess the sensory environment. Are the fluorescent lights harsh and glaring? Is there loud machinery buzzing in the background? By switching to softer lighting, reducing that background noise, and maybe setting up a designated quiet corner, we give young people a safe, stigma-free option to just step away and self-regulate if they start to feel overwhelmed. We also absolutely need to check our information visibility. Predictability reduces anxiety. Ask yourself if the day's plan and expectations are clearly visible on a board, and are they written in accessible, plain language. Using simple visual schedules means a young person doesn't have to constantly sit there and worry about what's going to happen next. Finally, we evaluate the tone of the staff. Honestly, this might be the most important element of all. We must guarantee that all our words are consistently respectful, predictable, and non-judgmental. Behavior is often just a form of communication. So when a young person acts out or withdraws, our calm tone is exactly what prevents a situation from escalating. Removing these environmental and communication barriers totally shifts our definition of engagement. It allows diverse young people to participate in their own unique ways. We never view them as helpless. Instead, we recognize that participation might look like speaking up in a group, sure, but it also might look like quietly drawing, taking a break, using noise-canceling headphones, or literally just sitting near the door and listening. All of these are valid, active forms of participation. Now, I know looking at all of this might feel a little bit daunting, but here's the good news. You do not have to fix everything all at once. You can literally start tomorrow with just one welcome point. Maybe you just revamp the entrance signage, or maybe you just introduce a visual schedule on a whiteboard. Because these small, step-by-step changes are profoundly impactful. They actively reduce anxiety, they prevent harm, and they support the dignity that is absolutely necessary to make a young person look around and think, you know what, I belong here.
Ultimately, safer spaces are intentionally built through attention, respect, and shared responsibility. Accessible youth work isn't just some extra add-on, it's the core of what we do. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final question to ponder. What is one small, invisible barrier you can remove in your youth center today to intentionally build a safer space for tomorrow?